Hello everybody, this is Dr. Kalpana Sringar from Prakruthi Charitable Foundation. Welcome to my channel, Tuning a Fragile Mind. Today let me briefly talk about the importance of rehabilitation of the mentally disturbed patients. There are so many mentally disturbed patients, and many of them are unable to be managed at home properly. The person who takes care of these patients also needs to be trained to handle these patients. The problem is there's not much of a mental awareness at all in our country. People take it for granted and they say, okay, this person is mentally sick, so it's okay, let us institutionalize him or let us send him or her away from the house because they are not going to support the family financially or emotionally. So they feel that why should we take care of these patients? But it is entirely different. Once you start taking care of these patients who are mentally disturbed, they can come out of their problems up to about 80%, as I told you in my previous video, and they'll be really manageable at home. They can even go out, they can work, they can earn for the livelihood, they'll become stronger, they'll be motivated to progress better. So we should try to help these patients. The most burden falls only on the key relative of the patient. It may be the wife, it may be the husband, it may be the parents, whoever it is. Don't consider taking care of a psychiatrically disturbed patient as a burden. Treat them with care. Send them for a rehab program. We have halfway home facilities in many places, or you can keep them for a few months in a rehabilitation center where they'll be trained in different activities according to their aptitude and attitude. The most important thing is the relatives of the patients will also be trained to take care of the patients better. They'll be given a lot of sessions on psychoeducation. They'll be told about what mental illness is and what are the symptoms that they see and how they can, treat them by giving them medicines. They should be taught how to monitor a patient, whether it's blood investigations or the side effects of the drugs, overdosage of the drugs, or allergies because of medication. All these things should be told to the patients, so that patients' relatives, so that they'll be able to handle the patients better. So rehab program is not just for the patients who come there and attend a daycare program. It is for the key relatives also. Many a times we call the entire family who is living with the patient, and we train the entire family to take care of the patient. So when we do this, it becomes easier. The work of the therapist also reduces, because the parents or the key relatives will be taking care of this patient. The patient will show a lot of progress. The patient will have a feeling that, okay, somebody is going to take care of me. There's somebody to support me. So this being the reason, it is always advisable to send these patients to a rehabilitation center where they'll be trained in certain vocational skills, and rehab program will make these patients compliant to medication, compliant to treatment. There'll be so many psychologists and counselors to handle them, and they'll monitor them. They will be motivated to work. They will show a gradual progress. They become functional, and their problems also become less. The thing is, they sit in a group. They'll be taught social interaction. They'll interact with the other patients. They sit together and have lunch. They sit and talk. Each one talks about their problem. They try to, introspect. They come out with their problems. So once they start verbalizing their problems, And once they start listening to the other people's problems, their problem becomes very, very less. So they become more confident. They feel that, okay, I can get better. I can achieve something. And the key relatives of the patient also will slowly start losing the stigma that's attached to mental illness. They'll get the patient, they'll have the patient treated, and they'll be happy because they can all live together properly. Each one can support each other. So, first of all, try to put these patients in a halfway home facility where they can be rehabilitated and sent back home. And if there's any problem that the relatives of the patient notice, they can immediately contact the therapist and tell them that this is what he or she does at home. That can be rectified when they come to the rehab program. So kindly do this. And instead of just taking them and institutionalizing them somewhere, it's always better you first send them to a halfway home facility where they'll be trained and rehabilitated. And after that, you can, if it doesn't work, then you can institutionalize them. So thank you, viewers, for your patient listening. And I'll come back with many more videos in the future. Thank you so much.